This broadcast is appropriate for all ages right here on hashtag WeAreMovieClub. Welcome to Bad Movie Club. Salutations, I am Cameron, and this is Bad Movie Club, where I am conversation ready. Fuck that up nice and proper. Good start to a bad thing. Now, this is called Bad Movie Club. And we've really been using it as an excuse to watch Kevin Smith movies lately because maybe not they're held in the highest of esteems, but I like them. And a couple of them were actually pretty damn good. Now, oh man, okay. Now, while I consider several of his movies very enjoyable, and some of them to be damn right good, for other people, I'm going to say this isn't it. Skip it. Don't bother, especially if you have things against clowns or rape. So trigger warnings right off the bat. Clowns and rape, in that order, alphabetically. Yeah, it's gay rape, but I don't think that really matters to rape victims. Please comment, let me know. I would imagine that it's just the trauma of the event. I think that's the way you say that. Like if I scare my cats enough, they don't like me. I throw empties at their heads, they get upset. Totally the same thing. Oh my god, no. So this is going to go pretty quick, because there's not a whole lot to the movie. You could probably explain it in 3 sentences. The entire movie. But basically it's a movie about a guy who wants to be a clown for a living to support himself because that's his passion. It's the thing that he wants to do. But very bad people use it as an excuse to do very bad things to him. And he finds inspiration in the event to actually better his life in a very odd way, which we'll get to. But he still has to contend with these old demons of his from the very bad people, let's say. So there is that. All right, let's get to it. Fuck it. For whatever reason, they used to Vuescu used to have like a clown putting his makeup on as part of their thing, and it was do 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 do. If you watch Hollywood, or listen to Hollywood Babylon, they occasionally do that segment, and they have a bunch of celebrity impersonations where it's like Bill Cosby or whatever, and it's like do 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 do. Or Al Pacino, and it's do 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 do. Things like that. But so for whatever reason, it just gives context for the opening of this fucking movie. And if I remember correctly, this is not a Kevin Smith written movie. They put his name on it because he's already popularized himself at this point. But Vuescu was kind of the endeavor that he had ventured on with Scott Mosier once upon a time. Now, Scott Mosier has done well enough for himself over the years where I don't think he has to work anymore. Like, he does work, but I think he chips in on Kevin's movies now, and then occasionally does the occasional film project to tie himself over, and he's fine. So I doubt he's hurting for money. But at the same time, Kevin does all this crap, so I don't know what the deal is. There's Kevin and Scott were at they went to the same place to learn about the same things and to do the same things, so they did. And so Scott Mosier has a couple other beauties out there, but this is one of the ones that like I'm aware of because it has Kevin Smith and Vuescu's name on it. And I don't know if I'm going to go bother hunting up the rest of them, or doing the fly fishing movie, Catch and Release. That's what it was. Because fuck it all. But so this one movie opens up on some very nice music and a ball gag. Because why not? And if you have the right context, not so bad. But it's a weird thing to happen across and be like, why are these here? Okay, I'm not gonna. You don't just put that in your mouth. You don't know where it's been. So when the movie finally actually opens, it's a guy dressed up as a clown running to his car because he's obviously late. So we've got like a White Rabbit situation here. But he goes in the car, and there's a dude sleeping in the back seat, who's obviously was drinking last night, is hungover, and he's like, "You said I could sleep in your car, man. You said it was comfy." So he has to stop and kick the guy out of his car. I would have just drove. I've been like, "You're coming with me. Thanks. Bye." And so this is obviously back in the day before cell phones and Google Maps and everything. So the guy's lost going to this appointment that he had. And when he finally gets there, don't remember what set it off, but there's a domestic disturbance. The police are arresting the husband for beating on the wife. And of course, he doesn't collect about getting paid. And he just wants to make sure that that's clear, that like she doesn't think that she needs to pay him. Or anything like that. And like her sister or something like gets in his face too. It's like, no, of course not. Like, what kind of monster do you think I am? Though, like, that's his living. Like, he should have made X amount of dollars that day, and he didn't. But he also didn't show up on time, and he also didn't do his job. So you don't get paid for nothing. That's why you do like a minimum cancellation fee or whatever. So even if I don't show up, you're in for this, and that's usually the down payment, and then you pay the rest afterwards, or you bill the client for the rest or whatever that is. So now that we've talked about clown business, I don't know. So after that nonsense, like he goes to the restaurant to tell his buddy about it, and then I went to go get pizza, or I walked out into the kitchen, so I lost track of what was going on. When I came back, there's guys throwing shit at his car, because he's a clown for a living. Apparently that's frowned upon. So the landlord's at home when he finally gets there. He needs the rent, but he's willing to wait because he's a nice landlord and he trusts the dude for whatever reason. He's like, but someone's been stealing the utilities. You've got to help me. Type of thing going on. He's like, oh, I don't know, which means he obviously knows, but he's unwilling to say anything. So because fuck the landlord, right? So he goes searching the one ads because he's just failing. He's behind on all his bills. It's very Zack and Miri now that I think about it. I honestly didn't have that thought until just now. So he's desperately looking through the one ads for work, and he gets the idea by looking in the what used to be on paper but is now Craigslist. Those ads. He's like, oh, I could go out as a bachelor party as a gag. Like the guy's expecting a hot lady or whatever, and it's me in a corset and my clown makeup, and I stick my hairy butt in his face, and yeah, it'll be really funny, and then the real girl will come out, and it'll be great. Like, we'll put that out there. But for whatever reason, and the answer is that the world's a horrible place. Like, he comes up with the name of Vulgar, so like these three redneck guys end up hiring Vulgar and then knock his ass out. And I don't know if you've ever been in that scenario where like someone's definitely got you overpowered, and not only does one guy have you definitely overpowered, where like you can't do anything if you wanted to. Three guys have you overpowered. It's a logistics nightmare, and I'm all for going out fighting. I'm not saying that I'm not, but it's a pretty dire fucking situation. I think at one point they put a gun in his mouth too, so there's that. And they film it and they rape him. And you see Dante kind of like go to his happy place. Oh, not Dante. What was his name? William? Yeah, William go to his happy place. Sorry, he played Dante from Clerks. It's Brian O'Halloran. It's the same guy. And it's on the beach, and he's like doing a birthday party for some kids on a beach, and like that's kind of weird that like that's his happy place, or that's what he's thinking about while he's getting boned. But sure, why not? Because in that happy place, that's not happening to him, so there is a disassociation there of the events, and it's kind of it's the type of trauma that your brain deals with, and that's how your brain deals with it. It goes, well, this can't happen to us, because if it happened to us, our life would be over. So we're going to create a reality where that didn't happen, and that's how we're going to process this event. Your body really, that includes your brain, really tries to protect you from shit. I promise. So when he finally gets home, he just kind of like lays down on the ground. He knocks over the phone. Eventually, he starts getting enough rage in him to trash his own place, because that's what he has dominion over. So you do what you can, which is what he can do is wreck his place. And he finally gets in a bath or a shower or whatever. It has like a crying man scene, which seems appropriate. You'd think you'd get to that earlier, especially if you're not going to the cops. You'd think you'd kind of want to wash up. His buddy finally shows up, and he finally tells him about it. But, like, bullshit. Like, I literally have la 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 sometime later as a note. He finally gets back to going to work. He starts putting on his clown makeup on, but he's still canceling jobs, and eventually he can't say no to somebody. I think it's the domestic abuse case that he had gone to before. But he finally gets there, and, like, the cops have the perimeter, like, blocked off, because Dad's got his daughter held by gunpoint, which... That's what you fucking need with a 10-year-old. I don't think that's the thing. I think she's pretty much going to listen to you, especially if you're hanging on to her. And so he's trying to, like, arrange for his wife to have to come in the house so that he can shoot her. Because, fuck me, who knows what's going on in that goddamn house? That's her problem. Now, to be fair, I think this is actually in reaction to him being divorced. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying that's fair is what happened. So, like, while he was in jail, she filed for divorce or whatever. So when he gets out, he hears about it and he comes back home. And fuck that guy. But, so fucking William the Clown, Flappy the Clown. That's his clown name, by the way, Flappy. Real genius namer there. Ends up sneaking around the back of the house, sneaking into the house, and then tackling the guy with the gun to separate him from the little girl, and then the cops rush in and arrest him. Obviously, there's not a situation like that exists where you're going to come out of it okay, because either you're going to shoot all the cops and all the additional resistance that shows up, or they're going to shoot you, or they're going to arrest you. Those are really the only options. Because the hostage thing just isn't going to happen. It doesn't work. I don't understand. And like, my personal opinion on the matter is that, like, as soon as somebody takes a hostage, oh no, he's killed someone, get him. And you treat the hostage as if they're already dead, because that's the way you get the guy. So reality is that he's going to be too busy staying alive and proving that she's still alive, instead of getting shot. Because once he shoots a hostage, it's go time. Or shoots the hostage, I guess. It's go time. You can take him out at that point. In fact, you can take him out once he's taken hostages. That's why they bring snipers to those situations. I did forget a couple. Who cares? I'll bring it up later. So now he's a hero. So he's doing international television. He's putting his name out there. He gets signed on for a TV show of all things. I skipped some stuff. That's fine. None of that's important. And Kevin Smith's actually the character who gets to go sign Flappy. So he goes to tell his mom about it. She's a cunt about it. Like, it's just every negative thing you could possibly think of to say in that moment happens. And he's still like, I'm gonna get you that big TV, Ma. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna show you that I'm following something. And I think he does get her the TV, but it no longer becomes a point of, like, loving his mom. It becomes a point of spite. Be like, I got this fucking TV for you, you stupid bitch. and like, so, like, the nurse is there watching Flappy or whatever with her. And she's like, was she gonna... Fuck, I don't even know what that means. So I'll retract that if it was bad. Probably offensive one way or the other. Just the fact I said it. So, of course, at the rapist's house, you know, Mr. and Mrs. Rapist. No. Anyways. Yeah, I don't care about any of this stuff. Skip some more stuff. I'm just like, nah, doesn't matter. Has nothing to do with the actual storyline. Just kind of shows his cementing his victories. But, of course, at the rapist's house, the rapist's wife and daughter love Flappy. Because who doesn't? Right? So, like, he finally sees this nonsense because he's too busy out going with his boys raping people to watch the goddamn news and hear about the incident that happens locally that created Flappy, the TV star, or the Flappy TV network show anyways. So he ends up trying to blackmail Flappy. I think that's the right way to say this. Yeah, and then because William's a chicken shit fuck, he actually makes the drop. Now, there are problems with that as well. With dealing with blackmailers, if somebody's willing to blackmail you, that means that they don't have the moral compensity, I think that's the right word, to know what they're doing is wrong, or they know that what they're doing is wrong and don't care. Therefore, they will continue to do it if they are able to. So, if you're going to be blackmailed, get proof that the blackmail is going to stop. Because if you don't, it's going to happen to you again and again, because they can. And they're not going to set reasonable prices so that you can afford it. They're going to fucking try to ruin you because, in theory, what they have is enough to ruin you, and they don't give a shit about your life. So, of course, now, if they had just taken the money and stopped and fucked off, that would have been one thing. Because then they agreed to the terms, and then William's happy. But because they took the money, stalked the dude, roughed him up in the bathroom, it became clear that these guys have no intention of stopping whatsoever. And this is all weighted off the idea that they filmed them raping him, and they made him talk at gunpoint. Which, to me, it's like, show the fucking video, please. Please do that. Because not only does that release evidence to the police, that gives you a news story to go on about. And it gives you more international fame. And you can dumb it down for the kids and be like, someone bad did something bad to Flappy once, and that's okay. Because he told on him, and it got taken care of. Like, there's life lessons you can build into that, which he kind of does later, but we'll get there, because I think it's a funny punchline. So what they do is they go to Jason Mewes and they buy a couple guns, but of course, he's a fucking clown. He doesn't know shit about shit. So he doesn't know, like, how a gun works. He doesn't know that there's a safety on it to keep you from shooting yourself. Of course, the guys want a fucking show. They want to have him again or whatever. So he goes to do the show. He agrees to go do the show, but of course they take the guns there. He takes his buddy with him. So the idea is that they're going to have a shootout with these guys and try to come out on top. But they piss off the homeless guy who ends up pulling a knife on his buddy once he goes in to do the party. And then so when he pulls the gun out and points it at the rapist guy, he clicks it a bunch. It's just click, 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 because he's got the safety on. So, of course, they take the gun from him and pistol whip his ass. So Ethan Suplee's character, the big guy, ends up shooting himself in the face with it because he's a moron. Like, they're actively telling him not to do that. He keeps doing it, and he says, cut that shit out before you shoot yourself. And then, bam. And then, I never understand why people who don't have the respect for other people as people start to be like, how dare you do this to my family? Like, what are you doing to mine? Like, why is it yours over mine? Like, I like the people who don't, like, there's two types of villains I really like. The villains that, like, don't think they're villains, and they're doing what's right for the world or for them or their own or whatever. And then two is the ones that know and don't give a shit. These guys are in, like, some fucking weird middle where they're like, yeah, it's okay for us to rape people because our daddy's in charge and he's tough. He sets the rules. And then he's like, oh, you killed my brother. It's like he shot himself in the face. We all just saw it. So, of course, Gino or whatever, the skinny guy, ends up, like, pulling a gun out and shoot at William the Clown, or Vulgar at this point. But the homeless guy ends up kicking in the door or whatever, going like, I want the rest of your money too, because he got greedy. So Gino shoots the homeless guy. The homeless guy ends up shooting him. Dad runs out the door. So there's like a 5-second like, let's make a plan out of this dude dressed up like a clown and his buddy, which is basically let's get the fuck out of here. And I think the buddy was supposed to stay and like clean up some things, like grab like the guns and the evidence and whatnot. But Flappy or William or whatever the fuck his name is, he's got 3 names at this point, chases down Dad, and then Dad's a thick, heavy, older guy. It all comes to this moment where like William's in charge. He's got his Batman mask on. He's got his weapon out there. He's ready to end Dad and rule over the situation. And then Dad goes and has a heart attack. Fuck. Like it's this weird, cruel irony of like things happening to this guy, and it's Brian O'Halloran's like bread and butter, right? That like things happen to his character, and he has to, oh God, why? So he doesn't even get to shoot the guy. He just has a heart attack, like near a playground somewhere, or something. And then of course we get to their fun punchline of Flappy ends up making them into characters on his show. Like it's the 3 bumbling idiots from our prison squad, or whatever the fuck he called it. Something weird. I was just like, okay, you're in charge of the situation now, aren't you? If you're writing and producing them into the show as like a memorial. Like, that was a weird ending to me. Like, I much would have rather gone to the rapist's house and see how mom and daughter deals with the situation. That's a more interesting ending to me. I think we're gonna go ahead and end that there. It's been long enough. I can't really say that there's a whole lot to this movie. Like it's a very simple concept. It's a very powerful version of that concept, but God damn, take charge of your life and do well for yourself. Don't let others do badly to you. Let's take that lesson since we had to sit through this. Like, I was warning my friend, like, I'm like, this is not the movie that you sit in on for bad movie night. Go ahead and get out of here. Go watch anime. But he was tired of anime, so he just wanted anything else. Apparently this worked for him. So he and I talked like while the movie was going on. It was fun. But we got to see Iron Man 2 after this over on Rabbit/Camerai. Come join us Fridays and Sundays. It's a good enough time. I think next up is going to be Friday night for Predators. Hopefully that one gets better than the original 2 movies. As we finish up the Aliens franchise. And then for next week for this, we're going to do Red State, which is fucking by far Kevin Smith's best movie. I really honestly have that opinion that Red State's the best thing he's worked on. So, till we see you next time, have a nice day from here at #WeAreMovieClub. Bad Movie Club. If you want to see anything else we're up to, go to click the annotations and they'll take you to other channels. Thanks for watching.